If you're interested in pop culture, Ariana has probably lived on your For You page these last couple of weeks. There's been a lot of talk surrounding her body with the start of Wicked, where she lost a considerable amount of weight, even though she was very slim to begin with. And now it's gotten even more concerning. She lost even more weight. Every time I open up my social media, I see so many videos of her, her on tour, her promoting her album or her makeup brand, or people just making videos about her. And I get it, I really do. I think the amount of concern there is reasonable. She looks really underweight. You can see her bones. You can tell that she looks really frail. This morning I saw videos of her promoting her album, and to me, the ones where she isn't on stage but rather sitting somewhere in a normal surrounding, without like the costumes and the makeup and the hair and all the vavavoom of concerts, her just being in a normal surrounding, you can see how shocking she looks. Because she's in normal clothing in a normal surrounding, you can really tell how concerning it's getting. And I mean, we don't really know what's going on, right? Is it her having health problems? Is it an eating disorder? Is it her mental health? We don't know anything that's going on. The internet has pretty much agreed to the fact that all of this is the cause of an eating disorder. And my personal opinion, I don't know. In the beginning, I did think a lot about the fact that she might be seriously ill in a non eating disorder way, but it doesn't really sit right with me. I thought about it quite a lot because let's just say she has an illness, okay, which causes her to lose a lot of weight. That would be a terrifying situation when your body is visibly showing you signs of you being sick, of your health failing. It's scary. So, would you, being that ill, your body the visible, noticeable sign for the whole world to see that you are seriously struggling, would you constantly be posting pictures of that body? And not in a normal way, hey, I'm just sharing snapshots of my life, but body checking content? Because every time I see pictures posted by Ariana, it is her body presented in some sort of way. Every time I see videos of her, you can tell how she's angling herself in certain ways. So all of this leads me to believe that it is more likely an eating disorder. I struggled with one. I am struggling with one. So you pick up on all of these little things, the posing, the body checking, the way you present yourself. I wouldn't think that someone who's like terminally ill or very, very sick would do these things. I might be wrong, but that's just my opinion. And you can tell that a lot of people are very concerned for her. Every comment section underneath her videos is filled with people talking about her body. And I have to say, it scares me a little bit because as someone who was on their way of starving themselves to death once before, when you are in that mindset actively and you are getting smaller and smaller, where it starts becoming dangerous, you don't really see it. And you love when people are concerned, when people constantly tell you how skinny you are, because that's what you want. There's no end to shrinking yourself. There's no stop because personally speaking, you are struggling so much mentally that you just want to disappear, and that's your way of doing it. We know that Ariana has gone through traumatizing events in the past. She had to witness horrible, life-changing events. I have so much empathy for her. I hope she finds a way of healing. But I have to say, where my personal empathy stops in this situation is the fact, and it's happened twice now, is that she declares herself and her body as healthy to the whole world. When she got a lot of scrutiny during Wicked, she went online and she posted a video where she told the internet that this is the healthiest she's ever been, because in the past she was constantly on medication and drinking and treating her body in bad ways. So now she's much healthier, the healthiest she's ever been. And yesterday her team announced that she would take a break due to all the conversations surrounding her health and her body. And what honestly pissed me off is this quote. She looks forward to finishing the tour and ending it on a high note, both healthily and happily, and then taking a much deserved break. And this is so frustrating to me because, okay, listen, at the end of the day, I don't care what Ariana does. She can do whatever she wants. I have nothing to do with it. I cannot change a single thing about anything. Again, I hope that she's okay, of course, but her life at the end of the day has nothing to do with me. But these statements, the way that she labels herself as healthy and the way that her team labels her as healthy, is what really brings my blood to a boil. Let's just say she is knees deep in an eating disorder. She's traumatized, she's struggling with her mental health. She doesn't eat and she wants to get smaller and smaller. She likes body checking and the way she looks, and that millions and millions of people are calling her so skinny because that's what your ED brain likes to hear. She can do with her life whatever she wants. I think that celebrities don't owe us anything. And I know that there's a lot of talk that she probably, with her weight loss, inspires a lot of impressionable people around the world in terrifying ways. And again, I think if she is struggling and losing that much weight because of it, we can't blame her for it. Yes, she's a huge celebrity and iconic singer, but at the end of the day, she is still a human. So I think that we can't blame her when she's in that much misery, that other people might look at her and feel inspired to do the same thing. But where this whole thing stops being understandable to me is that they, aka Ariana and her team herself, label herself as healthy. And it's obvious that she's not someone who doesn't admit to struggling, because she's openly talked about her mental health issues in interviews on her social media platforms. So we know that she is someone who can admit to struggling. She is someone who can be open and talk about all of these issues. And she's a singer, an actress, a songwriter. She knows the importance of words. So when she not only presents her body and sends a clear message with that, but she also goes out of her way to announce that she is the healthiest she's ever been, that's where she loses me completely. And as someone who knows the ways of disordered eating, you don't have that much logic going on in your brain, but deep down, you know that what you're doing isn't healthy. Because yes, she might be starring in musicals and recording music and hopping around the stage and filming more movies and music videos and undermining those statements that she is healthy because she is actively doing all of these big projects and these big things. But after a certain weight, we know that there is nothing healthy about you anymore. At my lowest weight, I was still way bigger than she is now. But man, the quality of life was no, there was no quality of life anymore. I had absolutely no energy for anything. I was aggressive all the time, despite the fact that I'm not an aggressive person usually at all. And if I wasn't mad, I was crying. I was mean to everyone around me. My hair was thinning, my bones were failing me, I stopped getting my period. I hated myself. I hated everything about this life and this world. Everything starts deteriorating. Your body is actively failing, and you can feel that. You feel it. And after there's no more fat left, your cells start eating away at your muscles. And what is a muscle? Our heart. So it's such a frightening situation. And I can tell you, for me, there is such a clear before and after. I am not the same anymore ever since I was at that lowest weight, and I feel it in my body still after so many years. I feel it in my health. I damaged and changed my body so much. So looking at Ariana, the way she's juggling all of those projects, which does look so impressive because she is that tiny and still has God knows how the energy to do all of that. She's telling the world, hey, look at me. I am so small and I am so healthy. And I show you this by doing all of these things and presenting myself in that way. With those words, she is telling everyone around the world, this body is attainable. And it's not only attainable, but it is also healthy. Those statements from her and her team really made me lose a bit of empathy for her, because she is selling her ways to millions of people around the world. And maybe I'm just a little bit sensitive when it comes to words, but it does make a huge difference to me. If she'd done all of those things and not commented on it, we wouldn't know her mindset. We wouldn't know what's going on. But they told us, everything's okay. I'm healthy. And I know that she doesn't owe us her medical history, but she chooses to address those concerns publicly. Those statements become part of a broader cultural conversation because of her influence. And yes, maybe she is so deep in her struggles that she's so set on the fact that she is healthy. But again, I can't really see that. Just as someone who's been in a situation where I was so extremely thin, you feel it every day. You feel it every minute. Your body is screaming at you. There's nothing in you that feels healthy or okay. So why would you go online in the state that you're in and announce and claim it as healthy, where people will internalize those words and start striving after your body too, because you said it was something that everyone can have because it's healthy? It doesn't take long for someone to realize that a balanced diet and a good workout schedule won't get you looking that small. Starving yourself or having a serious illness will get you there. And it's so scary to say that, because that's the same aesthetic. Starving yourself and being seriously terminally ill. If you think about that for a second, it's truly so sad that that's the body that so many of us strive for, whereas someone who is actively very, very sick would never wish that on anybody else. Back in the day, I absorbed all of this diet talk. I absorbed people telling me all about their horrific beliefs when it comes to food and diet and the way that one should look. So I know how important those words are, or how important words are in general. Again, I don't think that Ariana owes us anything, but it's just so sad to see the way that she frames the situation, the way she presents this as an attainable lifestyle. And deep down, I feel very sorry for her. And there's a good chance that those words, her statements, are a visible sign of her maybe not having the broader view of the situation, but she has such a huge influence over people all around the world. So I think it's not fair to choose these words. I think that's my problem with the whole situation. And I'm glad to hear that she's taking a step back, and I'm praying that in this time away from the spotlight, she'll find some peace and that she'll have a good recovery from whatever she's struggling from. And to anyone who's watching and might also be struggling with the body or eating habits, I have been there. I still sometimes am there, but it's gotten a lot better. I just want you to know that your worth is not measured by a scale. You will never look back at your life and be glad that your weight was this or that. Believe me, when I look back at my lowest weight, I am not proud of that, because I went through hell and back, and I do not think back fondly of my weight, because that size robbed me of my memories and my experiences. I will never get that time back. I will never get to rewrite those chapters in my life. And I missed so much because I wanted to be small, and all I got was a small life.